So one of the things that I love about living in the DC area is all the museums. And I love art, and so one of my favorite places to visit is the Phillips Collection, just off of DuPont Circle. And about a year and a half ago, they were doing an exhibit of the works of William Merritt Chase. And I had seen some of his paintings at the National Gallery, and I was very excited about seeing this retrospective of his work. So early one Saturday, I metro into DC, I have breakfast, browse around Kramer Books, and then head on over to the Phillips. And when you go in, you pay, you get a little pin that shows that you've paid for the special exhibit, and you get a time-stamped ticket. Then you go to the main doors, and there's a person there who checks to make sure you've paid and lets you in. Well, on this particular morning, as I'm approaching the main doors, the docent has this really big smile on her face. And she says, "Welcome back." It had been a while since I'd been there, and I was pretty sure she didn't remember me. So I just said, "Hey, it's great to be back." Walked in, go up to the third floor where the exhibit's being held. Well, at the top of the stairs, entering the exhibit, there's another docent. He's got a smile on his face. And he says, "Hey, great to see you again." And I'm thinking, this place has got customer service down. So I make my way into the exhibit, and it's amazing. William Merritt Chase is an American impressionist, late 1800s. And, I love the Impressionists, Monet, Cézanne, Renoir. The bold brushstrokes, the vivid colors, they leave an impression. So as I turn the corner to go into the main exhibit hall, that's when I see her. At the far end is this large painting on a 4-foot by 4-foot canvas. And it's this gorgeous woman wearing a burgundy kimono, and she's got a Japanese fan, and her head is turned as she's smelling a vase of flowers, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I ignore all the other paintings, make my way down to that, and I'm standing in front of it. And a third docent comes along with a smile on her face. Now, obviously, she can tell that I love this painting. And then she goes, "So you came back to see your lady?" "Excuse me?" I said. She said, the last time you were here, you told those amazing stories about the woman in this painting. And I just have been retelling those stories. I hope you don't mind. You told about how you imagined her to be this very progressive young socialite who would host Sunday brunches in her negligee and dressing gown. Or she would terrorize the neighborhood as she took her pet black panther for walks through the city gardens. She goes, "The stories were just amazing, and you were just so charming and witty and engaging. I had to retell the staff and tell the other visitors about it." I have no idea what she's talking about. And I'm almost certain she's got the wrong person, because I've been called a lot of things in my life. Charming, witty, and engaging do not make that list. So I mumbled something like, "Wow, that's really interesting. I'm glad you enjoyed the story." And I slowly walked away, leaving us both a little bit confused. Now, you can imagine my surprise when I got home that evening, and I'm sitting on the couch, and on the coffee table in front of me is the museum guide for that exhibit. And on the front cover is the painting of my lady. And on the inside is a time-stamped ticket from about a month and a half, 2 months prior. And this reminded me of something else that had happened a couple months prior. I was at work on a Monday, and we're in staff meeting, and we're going around talking about our projects, and come to my coworker, and she turns to me and she says, "I really want to thank Charles for stepping up and moderating that panel on Friday. I was beside myself when the moderator canceled, and without any preparation, he got up there and he led the discussion, and it went off without a hitch, and I'm really thankful about it." And she had photos. So there's photos of me in a coat and tie, and I've got a microphone, and I'm up there in front of the panel, and I'm like laughing and joking and looking like a game show host. Again, I have no memory of this, just like I have no memory of being at the exhibit. Now, fortunately, I keep a journal. So I got it out of my backpack, and I open it up to the days in question, and I start to read. June 23rd. Well, today didn't go as planned. Metroed into DC, had breakfast, browsed around Kramer Books, and headed over to the Phillips collection to see the Chase exhibit. This is sounding familiar. But as I'm crossing the sidewalk, crossing the crosswalk, a car pulls up. The driver looks right for traffic, misses me crossing from the left, accelerates through the intersection and hits me and knocks me on my ass. The driver sat in the car while some good Samaritans helped me up, helped collect the contents of my book bag, and when she saw that I was standing on my own, she rolled her window down partway and said, "If you're okay, could you get out of the road? I'm late for an appointment." Now, instead of going to the hospital like any rational person would do, I went to go see the exhibit at the Phillips collection. And apparently I told some really wild stories about women in the paintings there. And the next day, my coworker calls me in the morning and says, "My moderator has canceled. Can you do it?" Sure. And then on Saturday, my best friend shows up in the morning because we're supposed to go hiking in the Shenandoahs, and I'm still in my boxers and a t-shirt reading and having coffee. And I have no idea who he is. And we had been best friends in college and served in the military together. I don't know how he did it, but I got in a stranger's car and went to the hospital where the doctor confirmed, yeah, you have a concussion. You're going to experience some memory loss, but it shouldn't be permanent. To this day, I do not remember those 3 days of my life, except for what I read in the journal. But what I do know is I'm a very different person when I have a concussion. I'm charming, I'm witty, and I'm engaging. And now, from time to time, when my family and friends and coworkers feel I'm being a little disagreeable, droll, aloof, they recommend that I go play in a crosswalk. That's my story. Thank you very much.